And we'll start our practice seated. And we'll keep the strap somewhere nearby for our practice. We'll set up our blanket or a throw blanket beneath us and then take a seat on it. And maybe you end up in Sukhasana with legs crossed, but we really want to check in with the body because we want to bring ease to our posture. Now, if we find an ache in the knees or that Sukhasana doesn't leave enough room for our belly between our thighs, a few options. We release the legs, one to stack in front of the other. You might also widen the knees out towards the side. So we're loosening our cross-legged posture to create more room for the breath and for the belly. And then if this doesn't feel good to the low back, and you might just, with your mind's eye, check in. Are you feeling tension in the low back? Is it aching? Are we putting in effort? And if that's the case, two options. You might grab another blanket or towel and place it up underneath your seat, which is going to relieve some of that pressure. Or you might choose to begin your practice with legs extended and some space between them. However you want to start today, find your seat, get cozy. We're going to really feel our sits bones pressing down into that blanket or prop beneath them. Your sits bones being those bony protrusions in each cheek. And I like to get a good connection with my mind's eye, right? Allowing my mind to acknowledge the sensation of that pressure by rocking back and forth. So whether your legs are crossed or extended, take a gentle rock and in your mind's eye, feel the pressure shift from left to right. And notice that the pressure you're feeling in your seat, those are your sits bones. We're going to come back to those. Your sits bones are going to be your strong foundation down into the earth in any posture that you're taking. So from this seat, feeling that strong connection in the sits bones, on an inhale, we're going to draw our breath up through our body. And imagine with it comes length, pressing through the top of the head. On an exhale, you're going to let those shoulders melt from the ears. And just find your breath here. Inhale, pressing gently through the top of the head. Exhale, melt the shoulders from the ears. You might even take a deep inhale into the belly, really rising up through the top of the head. And as you exhale, let the breath slowly release from the lungs and the belly, letting those shoulders melt. A few more breaths just like this, filling the body completely, feeling that stretch, the expansion as you inhale, and then softening, releasing that exhale slowly, letting those shoulders melt. You can do this with eyes closed. You might even let the gaze diffuse. Continuing to breathe that length into the body, deep, full body breaths. We notice that even in stillness, the body is moving. That even in stillness, there is so much sensation for our mind's eye to notice and experience. Beautiful. From wherever you are, we're going to start some seated cat-cow to warm up the spine. So on an exhale, you're just going to drop the gaze down low. You're going to curl the tailbone up towards the belly button and feel the low back lengthen. I'm going to change my trajectory so that you can see my spine. I'm tucking my tailbone in towards the belly button. This tilts the pelvic bowl, lengthens the low back, and then once more check in with the neck. Let the head hang heavy here. You can really press down into your sits bones or into your legs, whether they're extended or crossed, just to help tuck that tailbone in, finding the C shape in the spine. And then from our cat posture, on an inhale, we'll lift up through the chin. Belly and heart press forward until our chin is pressing skyward. Breathe into the belly and the heart center. If it feels good, you might tuck the tailbone up towards the back of your head. It's a little harder to do seated. So we just invite the belly and the heart to fall forward as we lift the chin skyward. On an exhale, lower back down to cat. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, we rise. Pressing through the chin, belly and the heart fall forward. Exhale, curl the spine, drop the head, relax the back of the neck. Cat. So as we flow back and forth between cow Dvidasanas and cat Marjarasana, take deep, full body breaths. Allow the fullness of the breath to slow down your transitions from posture to posture. Beautiful. On an inhale, rise up to neutral. On an exhale, relax those shoulders once more from the ears. We're going to move our arms, warming up the shoulders and getting the heart center a little more open. So on an inhale, sweep the arms out and up, gaze follows. As you exhale, you're going to reverse that. Palms down towards the ground, lowering the hands, pressing out through the fingertips until we interlace our fingers behind our back. Now, you might interlace your fingers, or this might be a great time to grab your strap. We want to feel secure and comfortable. So the strap looks like this. I'm just holding space in between my arms. If it doesn't feel good and secure to interlace those fingers, from wherever you are, we're sinking the tops of our hands or shimmying them down towards the earth as we squeeze our shoulder blades together. Heart pumps forward. So you might imagine that there's a pencil in between your shoulder blades and you're just trying to squeeze it and hold it tight. This just opens up the heart, it opens up the shoulders, and then you can take it a step further by once more lifting that chin skyward. This is a wonderful heart opener. The chin lift being totally optional here. Beautiful. On an exhale, we're going to lower the gaze all the way down towards the earth. Keep those shoulder blades squeezed. Now we're relaxing and lengthening the back of the neck, just like we did in cat, but we are actively squeezing those shoulder blades, pressing the tops of our hands down towards the earth. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears as the forehead hangs heavy down towards the earth. We're stretching through the neck and the shoulders here. And it might feel good to just turn your gaze over to the left, allowing the head to continue to hang heavy here. We're just rotating the stretch around the neck, turning your gaze back down to neutral. And then when you're ready, turn the gaze opposite direction as far as the head will go. Still, the head hangs heavy towards the earth. When you're ready, drop the gaze back down to neutral. On an inhale, lift the head, squeeze the shoulder blades once more, shimmy those hands down, breathe deep into the heart, sending your breath here into the chest. Each inhale, expanding and stretching through the heart center. Beautiful. Now, if it feels good, extend the legs out wide. We're going to take a forward fold. You might release your hands from behind your back, give them a little shake. They're going to end up right back there. All right. So give your arms a little shake if that feels good. And then when you're ready, open up through the heart, interlace the fingers behind the back or grab that strap. Be willing to create ease for yourself. If you haven't tried the strap and you've got it nearby, grab it. Go for it. On an inhale, once more, we press up through the top of the head, finding length as we squeeze the shoulder blades. And then exhale, surrender the heart center down into the fold. Nice and slow. And in our forward fold, you're going to be pressing out through the heels, flexing the toes gently towards the heart. This is a mild engagement of the legs that just helps keep the integrity of the body as we fold. So the neck is still somewhat in alignment with the spine. We're sending our heart center down. You might once again squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale, send length through the top of the head. Exhale, melt that heart center or just let it settle down as much or as little feels good in the body. When you're ready, we're going to rise by pressing down through the backs of our legs and our heels and using that leverage to lift nice and slow. All right, release those hands, shake it out, shake it out. From here, let's move into some lateral. I'm going to change trajectory, stay where you are, to some lateral warm-ups, keeping those legs wide. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, right hand plants down beside you. We're going to stretch our left arm up overhead, and you might bend into that right elbow just to assist you to sink a little further into this side stretch. Now, each time that our legs are out in this wide-legged fold, we continue to gently press through the heels, flex the toes towards the heart. On an inhale, rise up, still pressing through this outstretched arm. Exhale, lower it. Let's switch sides. Inhale, lift that arm up. Exhale, we bend towards the left. You might even bend that left elbow, that left palm planted as you reach out, pressing through the right side of the body. Check in with the feet. Press gently through those heels. And then when you're ready, rise up and release that right arm. Beautiful. Let's come into some tabletop. From here, we'll move into our classical sun salutations that we've been practicing. So grab this blanket or the towels, and if you added to your seat while seated, you might remove some of that, but we're going to use this as a cushion for our knees. So up on the knees, we're going to come down into tabletop. This might be where you grab blocks for your practice. Tabletop can look like palms beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. If we want to bring some relief to the wrists, you might walk the hands forward instead. So this decreases the angle that the wrists sit at. If this is still pretty sensitive for the wrists, grab blocks. Do tabletop on your forearms. There is no reason that you can't. You can even do tabletop on your forearms next to the ottoman or the couch. But from tabletop, we're pressing down through the palms of our hands or our forearms here, finding this neutral back. Our neck remains in alignment with the spine, meaning we're gazing down at our mat. We imagine that our spine is stable like a table. And then once more, we're going to find this energy pressing down through our sits bones or through our tailbone as we press up through the head. So we imagine this length coming to our table posture. Maybe you feel the spine lengthen as you press through the head and out through the tailbone. Maybe you just imagine it. And then let's find our cow here in tabletop by dropping the belly low, lifting our gaze up, pressing our chin towards the wall in front of us. And you might even lift your chin up towards the ceiling a little bit until once more we're feeling this opening of the front body. And then check in with the tailbone. Can you curl the tailbone up towards the ceiling? Notice all the space we're bringing for the belly and the breath. Breathe deep into the belly here in cow. Cow is my favorite yoga posture for releasing chronic patterns in the body of depression and anxiety, feelings of smallness, lacking confidence. Every time that we stretch open the muscles and the fascia all along the front body from chin all the way down to the tip of our tailbone, we are releasing, we're inviting our physical body to release these chronic patterns that it's learned over time without our knowing. When you're ready, head and the tail drop low. We're going to press the mat away with our palms or forearms, curling the tailbone in towards the belly button, releasing the top of the head down towards the earth into cat, finding our C shape, really pressing the mat away. And as you press the mat away, you might feel your arms lengthen. You might notice the shoulder blades separating at the back as you press the arms away. And then one more time, curl that tailbone in towards the belly button. Feel that low back lengthen. Then let's move with the breath. Inhale to cow, head and the tail come up, belly fills and drops. Exhale, curl the spine, press the mat away to cat. Let's move with the breath. We open up our spine and our heart deeply today because we'll need it to practice our peak posture. We're going to be moving into bird of paradise. And bird of paradise not only is a heart opener and a hip opener, but it's a balancing posture. So as we play and explore the peak posture, we first want to build up the warmth in our body and the knowing of balance, of opening, of softening, of strength. And so our warm-up and our practice will lead us to this point. All right, on an inhale, find your flat back. Let's press up onto our knees. We're gonna get ready to step forward into a forward fold. So if you're using blocks for your sun salutations, you're going to place them at the top of your mat. To step forward, we're first coming to Asana. Left or right leg doesn't matter. This is Asana. If you've been with me for past classes, this is part of our classical sun salutation. To practice Asana before we step forward into our fold, on an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. As the palms reach skyward, we're really pressing through those fingertips. Now, this might feel great pressing skyward. You might want to take Asana and turn it into a heart opener and a bit of a back bend by inviting your thumbs to press towards the wall behind you as the heart and the hips gently sink forward. And as we do this, there's a temptation to just sort of collapse our back, but this squeezes the vertebra of our low spine, our lumbar vertebra. So instead of just collapsing back to open the heart, we're going to continue to press through the top of the head, right? Even in this curve, even in this C shape, every inhale draws length up through my spine to press through the top of my head. This encourages us to engage all of the muscles around the abdomen, around the torso, and lift up so that we do not compress the low back. Beautiful. On an exhale, let's sweep the arms down. Let's switch sides just to find balance. Let's step the right leg forward or the left, whichever side is opposite. When you're ready, inhale those arms up. You might stop directly overhead to check in. And then when you're ready, maybe you press the heart forward, lift to the top of the head, open up the heart. Beautiful. On an exhale, sweep those arms down. We're going to curl that back toe. We're going to come into a forward fold, either by pressing our hands down into the mat or into blocks. We're going to step forward, leaving plenty of space for our belly here. So you might notice in my forward fold, my feet are not hip distance apart. They're shoulder or a little wider, because when I come down, I want plenty of room for my belly and my chest. And if you find yourself here, in your forward fold, just check in. Do you want to heel toe the feet out a little wider? Maybe you want to bring them in a little more narrowly. If you're still struggling to find like a good pocket for your belly, what I do is I bend my knees, I open my hips up, so I open my knees up, slide my belly in between, and then move my legs towards straight as I drop my head down. So we're experimenting with our own body in this fold. On an inhale of your choice, lift up to flat back. So we're either pressing our palms down into blocks or against our forearms, but wherever they are, the arms press length through the top of the head and create stability here. Take a deep breath in when you're ready. As you exhale, sink back down into the fold, make space for the belly, head hangs low. Check in with the neck. Maybe you give a little wiggle. Check in with the knees. We're not here to hyperextend. You might take a gentle bend and really feel the weight of your legs press down through the pads of your feet. When you're ready, we'll rise up, and we'll do this by sitting back in towards our heels, bending the knees, pressing to the pads of the feet, and then sweeping the arms out and up to rise. Pressing strong to the pads of the feet. As you exhale, you might bring the palms together towards heart center. So we're going to come back into this flow to start our classical sun salutations. From the top of your mat, keeping your blocks handy, find your Tadasana. So we're really planting through the pads of our feet. Just like we were our sits bones earlier, now the pads of our feet are our sits bones. They are our strong foundation into the earth. They keep us stable here. When we acknowledge the weight of our body pressing down to the pads of our feet, we can better control our body in standing and balancing postures. So feel that strength. On an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out and up. Let the gaze follow the hands. As you exhale, we'll dive into a forward fold. So hinging at the hips, heart lowers. Inhale, find that flat back, palms to block or shins. Exhale, come back down into your fold. This time we're going to step the right leg back into Anjaneyasana. Hang out here for a moment. On an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up proudly into the fullness of this posture. Hang out here, find where you want your back bend to be, a lot or a little, and then press strong to the top of the head so we don't compress the low back. As you exhale, we'll plant both palms on the inside of this left thigh. We're going to step that left knee back. So you find yourself in tabletop. Now we move into what they call our vinyasa. From here, you normally hear knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. We're going to do half push-up. So we'll lower down into half push-up. So I'm shifting my hips forward. And then as I lower, I'm keeping my elbows tucked into my side body. My heart center lowers on down. And maybe you lower as far as you can and then drop. There's nothing wrong with that. Be where you are. Hang out here. Feel the tops of the thighs against that blanket. Feel the palms of the hands press down beneath the shoulders. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift to the top of the head and the heart as high as we go. And hang out here. This is our cobra. So you might even lift your hands up off the mat, right? Because we're lifting through the heart and the head first. And then when it feels right, plant those hands, press through the arms, and you might lift the rest of the way if that feels good. Know that cobra is anywhere between here and here. And there's no wrong way to do it. From cobra, we'll press back into our tabletop. All right, from tabletop, on an inhale, stretch that right leg out behind you, press through the toe. As you exhale, you're going to bend that right knee, swing it out towards the side, step it up front. Pressing through the palms, pressing through the pad of that right foot, rise up, adjust this right leg into your Anjaneyasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, curl the back toe. We're going to step into our forward fold. Find your blocks. If that feels good, make space for the belly. On an inhale, rise up to your flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend to the knees, sit the hips back. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Press through the legs. We rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti, palms at the heart. All right, we'll move through this flow. I'll talk less, but we'll do our variation on this sun salutation, moving back into tabletop like we did. And then we'll practice the more traditional classical sun salutation before we move into our standing postures. So from here, Tadasana. On an inhale, we sweep the arms out and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. This time, step the left leg back, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We rise. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back for your half push-up, lowering yourself down. Inhale to your cobra. Exhale, curl the toes, press back into tabletop. On an inhale, left leg presses back behind you. Exhale, swing the knee out, step it up in front. Inhale, rise up, adjust as you need, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, forward fold, step it forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold all the way down. And then when you're ready, take that bend in the knees. Inhale, press to the pads of the feet. We rise up. Exhale, samastiti. Wonderful. So we've done a full round of classical sun salutations using some really, really awesome variations. The one that I'll show you now is the more traditional version, and you're welcome to practice any of the variations that feel good in your body. So when you are ready, on an inhale, we sweep the arms out and up into a posture called Urdhva Hastasana. As we exhale, hinge at the hips, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, step the right knee back, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, we lift through the heart and the hands and the top of the head. Exhale, we plant the hands for our half push-up or knees, chest, chin. If we're doing knees, chest, chin, the knees are already planted. Next, the same, we're bending the elbows, keeping them tucked into towards the side body, lowering the heart center down. And then last comes the chin, gaze forward. So this is knees, chest, chin, not easy. From wherever you are, flatten the body out into cobra. On an inhale, we lift through the heart and the head and then press to the arms when we're ready. Exhale, curl the toes. We're going to move back into tabletop. Now you might hang out in tabletop, or you might press up into downward facing dog. I like to walk my feet forward for a stronger, more secure foundation. Now, if we're in downward dog, hang out with me for a moment. This is one version, a more traditional version of downward facing dog. This is hard on our wrists. If we come down onto our knees and we grab our blocks, we can press up into downward facing dog with much more ease. So from tabletop, if you would like, using the blocks, pressing the hips up and back, letting the ears sink between the shoulders, you might notice that lifting up the hands onto blocks presses the weight of our body towards our feet. So relieving our arms, and then you can have your blocks as high as feels good. If you're in tabletop, you might hang out and do some cat-cows. Moving, breathing, and feeling. From our downward facing dog or our tabletop. On an inhale, we're going to send that right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Lower that left knee down if it's not already. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Sit back towards the heels, press through the feet, swing the arms out wide, we rise. And then on the exhale, palms towards the heart center and samastiti. Wonderful. So choosing how you want to move through your vinyasa, choosing whether or not you want to do tabletop or downward facing dog, choosing whether or not you want to do a half push-up or knees, chest, chin. And then we'll figure it out as we go, right? You can change, swap out, intermingle, whatever feels good to you in the moment. Preparing To start our classical sun salutation now on the left side of the body. On an inhale, sweeping the arms out and up, gaze rises to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, we surrender, stepping that left leg back, Anjaneyasana. Inhale, rise up proudly. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or half push-up. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, tabletop or downward facing dog. If we're modifying, grab those blocks. This is where we bring them into play. On an inhale of your choice, press that left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward. Lower that right knee if it's not already. Inhale, rise up. Anjaneyasana on the left side. Exhale, step it forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press to the pads of the feet. Rise up strong to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Wonderful. Let's practice some standing postures intermingled with this wonderful little flow. So let's start our classical sun salutation by once more finding our root lock, right? Our strong foundation to the pads of our feet. On an inhale, sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Make space for the belly. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. This time, hang out in the fold for a moment. We're not going to step back. On an inhale of your choice, bend through the knees, sweep the arms out wide, rise back up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti. We're going to move this blanket off of our mat so that we can do some standing postures safely, knowing you can bring that blanket back anytime you please. But from palms at the heart center, this is Anjali Mudra. You're going to shift your weight over into your left leg. We're going to find a momentary balance posture by taking our right knee and bending it up in front of us, as high as it will go, knowing this uses the hip flexors here, right? We're using strength in our belly. You might take your belly and place it more towards the inside of that right thigh if it feels good. But we're choosing to balance wherever our knee is bent. Maybe we keep the right toes on the ground. We're really feeling our weight through the pad of that left foot and breathing. Now, balance postures are powerful. We pick a fixed point and we sort of focus on that point, letting our gaze grow fuzzy, calming the mind, breathing into the body, touching that right foot down anytime we please. We are almost done. On an exhale of your choice, plant the pad of that right foot. Let's shake out the hips a little bit. That's a lot of work. We're going to try it on the other side. Palms towards the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Shift your weight over into that right leg. When you feel the whole of your weight over the top of this right leg, secure. Find your fixed point on the wall in front of you or wherever you are finding comfort gazing. And then start to lift that left knee up. You might do it nice and slow. Feel the body sway and shift to balance you. Can you breathe deep into the belly? Touching that left toe down anytime you please, anytime the body is asking for, and then lifting that knee right back up when you're ready. Balance postures ask a ton from us, mind, body, and soul. When you're ready, plant that left foot, find your Tadasana. So from this place, we're going to take a big step back on our mat with our right foot. So shifting your weight back into the left leg, take a big step back on your right foot. We're going to stay on the ball of this back foot. This right heel stays lifted. On an inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, you might bend that front knee towards 90, but we're not going to bend it over our toes. So somewhere between here and here is where we want to be for this high lunge. Breathing into the heart, pressing to the top of the head, up through the fingers. It's a lot like Anjane Asana. And then we'll turn this into warrior two. So this right arm sweeps back behind us. We're going to take the right heel of our foot, rotate it inward, and plant the whole pad of this right foot on the mat. And so here we have the feet of warrior two, the toes of our left foot pointed up towards the short edge of our mat, the toes of our right foot and the heel in alignment, pointing towards the long edge of our mats. All right. Once again, we bend towards 90 in that knee, pressing our fingertips out towards either side. We notice how warrior two is a hip opener, that the hips want to open and square with the long edge of our mat here, and we let them. Your gaze comes towards the fingertips of that left hand, towards that bent knee or over that bent knee. Your gaze, you might hear it in class called your drishti. This is just the point that your eyes focus on, or the direction that they focus on. So here is warrior two. From warrior two, we're going to find extended side angle. We're going to bend this left arm, plant it on top of the left thigh, sweep the right arm up overhead. Now you might stop directly above, or you might continue to sweep it overhead, finding length on the whole side of the body. So I'm pressing up through these fingertips and then down through the pad of that foot planted on the earth. Ooh, we've got some construction. On an inhale, rise up, pressing through the whole pad of this front right foot or front left foot. We'll come into peaceful warrior. So lengthening that left leg long. We're going to drop the right hand down the back of the thigh. This left arm presses skyward. Again, we're still pressing out through the top of the head. That never stops. Each time we notice, we allow and invite length back through the spine, pouring out the top of the head. Beautiful. We'll come into warrior two one more time, bending that front knee, extending the arms long. And then let's shift back into high lunge. So I'm going to drop my right arm down by my side. I'm going to come up onto the ball of this back foot, swinging the heel behind me. Notice how your hips naturally square with the short front edge of your mat. Beautiful. Our hips are no longer open. This is not a hip opener. So here we are in high lunge. Now I want to step forward. If I just step forward from here, I'm not going to get very far. But if I step forward, by leaning my heart forward, almost in javelin pose, which we learned last week, right, where the heart center comes forward, I'm pressing to the top of my head. I'm feeling most of my weight shift into this front bent knee. And then I can step forward and rise up through the pads of the feet strong, right? We're really pressing down into the earth and using the strength of our legs here. All right, we're going to find this on the opposite side of the body. Y'all ready? On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, let's fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to that flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold all the way down, bend the knees. On an inhale, press to the pads of the feet, rise up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Beautiful. Shift your weight over into this right leg. Generous step back with the left. High lunge. Find what works. Bend into that front knee as much or as little as your body is inviting you to. Knowing that each day it might be different, and that's okay. We're not going for metrics here. We're not comparing ourselves to yesterday. We are being with ourselves, present in this moment, and allowing it to be enough. From here, warrior two, left hand sweeps open behind us. We're going to draw this left heel inward. Check out the alignment of the feet. When you're ready, sweeping the arms out wide, bending into this front right knee as much feels good. And then I know you're looking at the backside, a new angle. It's good. When you're ready, bending this right arm, plant the right forearm. It can help to turn that right palm up as you plant it, and then sweep that left arm overhead. Does it stop here? Does that feel good? Does it feel good to continue that rotation? You decide. Press firmly to the pads of both feet. We want to make sure that we're not just hanging out on the outside or the inside edge of this back foot with this extended leg. So feel out your middle foundation. And then on an inhale, we rise up, pressing to the pads of the feet, peaceful warrior. Beautiful. Hanging out here, finding this length by pressing up through that right arm, letting the back of that left hand slide down the thigh. Take a deep breath in when you're ready. On an exhale, find that extended side angle once more. Bend that right elbow. Left arm presses overhead. We might move with the breath here. Inhaling to peace. Exhaling to that extended side angle. 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Beautiful. From here, find that high lunge once more. Drop that left arm down. Come up onto the ball of that left foot. We're shifting all of our weight forward, down through this right leg to step it forward. Whoo, rise up. Awesome. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let it be messy, right? We're not here to be perfect. We're here to explore. We're here to let it be messy. We're here to acknowledge that each time we bring ourselves to this place, it becomes more and more familiar. And with that familiarity, new levels are unlocked, not of strength and awesomeness, although that too, but new levels of interoception and proprioception and mind-body connection and a deep, deep connection with self. So each day we show up, allowing our body to be however it is, wherever it is, and letting it be enough. Because today is a day all on its own. Yesterday was yesterday. Tomorrow hasn't come yet. None of that matters but what you're doing right now. And we let it be messy and we let it be imperfect. All right, let's move through an asana, a classical sun salutation flow. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, asana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, plant your hands for knees, chest, chin, or half push-up. On an inhale, we lift through the head and the heart to cobra, pressing through the arms when you're ready. Exhale, tabletop or downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, step that leg forward, lower that left knee. When you're ready, find your asana. On an exhale, curl that back toe, step forward into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press to the feet, we rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms towards the heart. We'll do this one more time, this time leading with the left leg, stepping back. And I want to encourage you to take it at your pace. So I am cueing inhales and exhales, and maybe I'm cueing them more quickly or slowly than you might find your own breath. Give yourself permission to explore how feels good to you. When I, even as a teacher, show up for a yoga class, especially vinyasa style, where we match breath with movement, I will learn the sequence that the teacher is teaching or the flow to the best of my ability, and then take it at my pace that feels good. So empower yourself. Know that every teacher is just up here suggesting, and that you get to decide what delights you in your body. All right, from the top, on an inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. We'll do Sanskrit this time. On an exhale, surrender Uttanasana. On an inhale, lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the left leg back, Anjaneyasana Asana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, plant both hands on the inside of that right leg. Step that foot back, lower down. Knees, chest, chin, or half push up. Inhale, we rise to cobra, also known as Bhujanga Asana. Exhale, press back to tabletop, or continue pressing back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On an inhale of your choice, that left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward, lowering that right knee to Anjaneyasana Asana. Inhale, rise up to the fullness. Exhale, we step forward into the fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, back down to Uttanasana. Inhale, press to the feet. We rise up into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms together, Samastiti. Wonderful. From here, class goes by quick. I've had y'all do a lot. We're gonna play with birds of paradise. So find some space on your mat. Be willing to be messy. Make a pact with yourself. Birds of paradise, like I said earlier, is not only a balancing posture, right? It's also a hip opener. It's also a heart and chest opener, and it will be asking so much of our body from head to toe. We're going to screw it up. We're going to fail. There is a 90% chance that we will not be able to find this posture in our body today, and that's okay. That's all right. We're going to use all the tools that help us explore it. And then over time on your own and with us together as time goes on, we'll master these things and they will feel more accessible and at home. So, bird of paradise. I'm going to show you what it looks like and how to get into it. And you're welcome to watch, you're welcome to play and experiment, but then after I show you, we'll walk through it step by step in detail. Bird of paradise starts out in warrior two. So finding my warrior 2 feet, one foot pointed towards the short edge, one foot pointed towards the long edge. I'm going to bend into the toes of the foot pointed towards the short edge of my mat. With arms swept out towards the side, this is warrior 2. Notice I have my strap handy. This is going to lengthen my arms for me. So bird of paradise is a posture in yoga that includes a bind. And you might have heard about binds. Binds in yoga are any time that your arms or your hands clasp together over a part of your body. So anytime that you're doing a twist or a posture in which your arms are clasped, that's a bind. So as we had our arms behind our back, interlacing our fingers, this is considered a bind. So from warrior 2, bending through that knee, we'll find our extended warrior. So I'm going to bend my forearm, palm up, lean into it. So I might normally sweep my opposite hand up overhead, but for birds of paradise, it's actually going to lower behind my back, just like we had when we interlaced our fingers behind our back. And placing my palm behind my back, I'm rolling my shoulders open here, right? Big heart opener. Both of my arms are anchored and I'm using it to press my chest forward. Now you might notice I have the strap gripped in this hand. You can see it's hanging beneath my legs. My next step is to bend forward, grab that strap with my arm. Now know the shorter the strap is, the harder you're going to have to work for it. Once I have this strap in both hands, I'm going to once more open up my heart center, squeeze my shoulder blades together, pinch that pencil between my shoulder blades. As I squeeze my shoulder blades together, I'm going to show you my backside here. As I squeeze my shoulder blades together, I might notice that I can walk my hands closer together on this strap. Now, the strap is going to be tempted to pull in towards your midline like your butt crack. And you're going to want to scoot that strap out towards that bent knee as you secure your grip. From here, this extended leg, I'm gonna hop it in towards my midline. And now instead of the bulk of my weight being in this bent leg, it's now here in my right leg that's extended long. Oops, I already lost it. You can see, y'all, we're taking ourselves to new heights today, but I promise this is one of those things that like can be frustrating and incredible. So we're gonna step that extended leg inward, holding the strap, opening up through the heart. I'm gonna press down into that leg as I lift this left knee, supporting with the strap. So there's bird of paradise. Wow, that was a lot. Let's move through it together, y'all. If you were trying it on one side of your body, or if you were watching, try it on the other side. Let's find our warrior two. Whew. Warrior 2 feet. Bend into that opposite knee. Wonderful. Grab your strap in the hand opposite that bent knee. And then find your extended side angle. Arms out in warrior 2. You're going to bend that arm, plant it atop that bent thigh. You might extend the opposite arm up overhead and then sweep it down behind you, opening up through the heart. All right, if you're up for it, grab that strap down between your legs, scoot it out towards your knee, right? Not in towards your butt crack, but out towards that bent knee. And then from your brace, press your heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend into that knee. Notice where you can cut some slack between the hands. All right, when you're ready, this back lengthened leg, we hop it little by little towards the midline. Right now it just feels like this weird bent, crooked posture. From here, this leg that we hopped inward, we're gonna adjust our weight, shift it onto this leg. And as we rise up, press into that leg, lifting the knee up as well. The strap is our friend here. And then you might, my body's tired. You might bend that toe. So we're opening up through the heart. We're holding this strap. Here we are, bird of paradise. I'll show you from the back side. For me, it looks like this. Lifting up, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Birds of paradise. Now, this is, again, one of those postures that we have to give ourselves permission to do it messy, to screw it up, to have it be like nothing we think that it should be. Another great way to do this is against the wall. And I'll show you over here. Finding your warrior 2 with your butt against the wall. Right? So here we are. My flooring is unhappy. With your booty against the wall. Finding your warrior 2. Lengthening that strap out behind you. We're going to bend down and grab it. And now we have the wall at our back. So we're opening up through the shoulder blades. We're walking our hands towards one another, shortening that distance that we're holding onto the strap. And then when you're ready, we're going to bounce that extended leg inward towards the midline of the body, leaning against the wall, lift up, bird of paradise. So walls are incredible props. They help us build strength, and not even just strength. Oftentimes it's not strength we're missing. It's simply just understanding which muscles to engage and how to move. When you're ready, drop it down low. All right, let's take some time to explore it on the opposite side of the body. Maybe we're just stopping at warrior 2, building that strength in the legs. Whew. Maybe we're going to try it on the opposite side against the wall. But we'll take a few more minutes to play, to let it be messy. And then I'm going to show you from behind what this all looks like once more, as I give you a few more minutes. So from warrior 2, finding extended side angle. I'm going to take the strap, sweep it behind my body now, right? Holding onto the strap tightly. Now I look between my legs in front. I'm going to grab the other end of that strap. As I lift my heart and my head back into extended side angle, I'm opening through the shoulders. I'm walking my hands towards one another on this strap as I scoot the strap out towards my knee, right? So it really supports my thigh. From here, bouncing that extended leg in towards the midline. I'm shifting my weight onto this extended leg that's now beneath me. And then when I'm ready, pressing into that leg until the strap really starts to pull my knee up. I'm going to draw the knee up as well. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, pinch that pencil, finding our bird of paradise. So what we have done is we've used a strap to lengthen our arms. Whew, it's a lot of work, y'all. And to find that bind. And what we're finding is that over time, you can practice these big, powerful postures in whatever body you have, as long as you have the right tools. So use the wall, use a strap, take your time, work through balance. And over time, this posture will be home in your body. So we'll practice it little by little. But next week we'll move on to some other fun big practices. Anyway, let's end our practice. Whew, we've been at it. Let's end it on our mat, laying down with our knees bent. BKS Iyengar, a famous yogi, is said that it's not the yoga practice that feels like bliss, it's when it's done. And that yoga itself can feel like nails on a chalkboard in our body. And that doesn't mean we're looking for pain, because we're not, but frustration, lack of familiarity, all sorts of things can cause our yoga practice to be not what we'd like it to be. And so BKS Iyengar says, yeah, I know. It's when it's over that you're like, dang, I'm so glad I did that. That you feel regulated in your body and your mind and ready to take on whatever. We're just here feeling our body press down into the earth. Taking a moment to just let it all go. Just soak it all in. We did a lot playing today, learning. Our brains did as much exercise as our bodies have done. We'll take a deep twist if that feels good to sort of end our practice. Now to do this, we'll come into a figure 4. So you might cross your left ankle over the top, or your right ankle over the top of that left thigh. It can be either way. And then you might enjoy hanging out just like this. You might take the palm of your hand and just press that bent thigh away from your torso. And then you might hang out here, or if it feels good, turn this into a twist by letting the pad of this foot rotate all the way over towards the opposite side of the body. Now, it can feel good to take a block or a blanket and place it up underneath the pad of that foot, just to decrease the intensity of this twist in the low back. And then from wherever you would like to be, you might tee the arms out wide and just allow both shoulder blades to melt down into the earth. Breathing into the belly, softening through the low back and the hips. Softening through the thighs as you sit here or lay here. And then you might notice if this knee that's bent has tucked in or scooted in towards the belly or the belly button. And if so, I'm just going to take my hand and press my knee away from my belly. This further opens up the hips. You might even lift the head and turn your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees, resting your head back down. So we're twisting the low spine in one direction, the upper spine or the neck or the cervical spine in the opposite direction. Then we're also deeply opening the hips by just pressing this knee away from the belly. And then from wherever you are, we'll soften one more time into this posture, releasing any tension in the shoulder blades or that extended arm. Letting go of any effort we're holding in the neck, the jaw, and the tongue. Melting through the heart, the belly, and the thighs. As you melt and release, if the body slides and shifts, that's all right. We just let it. We're going to be messy and playful. Rather, choose the discovery of sensation that arises over trying to make any certain shape. When it feels right, lift the head, turn the gaze skyward. We're going to roll back up onto our backs and switch sides. So crossing opposite ankle over that thigh. And again, you might just hang out here, pressing that inner thigh away from the body. If it feels good, turn it into a twist. Let the pad of that foot rotate all the way over towards the opposite side of the body, landing on the floor, block, or blanket. I can't stress enough how much offering yourself a teeny weeny bit of support can take you from, I'm suffering, this is pinching, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be feeling, into a place of like, oh, let me soften a bit into this. Right? I'm no longer having to hold and survive through intense sensation. I can just be, soften, and let go. And what we find is that when we use props, when we soften the depths of a posture or a twist, that we can really ease our body into release because it can trust, because it can let go instead of being focused on the intensity of sensation that it's experiencing. If you like, you can lift your head, turn your gaze opposite the knees, and let it settle back on down towards the earth. If you've turned the head, you might just check in with the neck and the tongue, softening any tension that snuck up. The shoulders and the heart follow suit. We'll hang out here, softening, sliding, letting it get a little messy. And then when you're ready, lift the head, turn the gaze back upright. We'll roll onto our backs. Woo. And then from here, you might end your practice, or you might just extend the legs and the arms long. Ooh, singing bowls. And allow the body a moment to once more soften into stillness. And from whichever posture you've taken, whether your Shavasana is arms and legs stretched out wide, taking up every bit of space that could delight your form, or whether your Shavasana is arms, hands on the belly, legs tucked inward, conserving energy, you might take a moment and just ask your body what it's looking for. Anytime the mind wanders, we gently invite it back into the body to notice yet again how even in stillness, the body is moving. Even when we release all conscious effort, our breath still stretches and expands and softens and releases. Our heart still pumps in our chest, moving blood throughout the whole of the body. And you might just allow your mind's eye to notice all of that motion in your stillness. and all of the sensations that arise with the stretching and expanding and the softening and releasing. When you're ready, we'll invite some movement back into the physical body through the hands and the feet, the legs and the arms, reawakening at a pace that honors your practice, and then moving and stretching in ways that honor your body. They don't have to feel good or look good to anybody but you. But we stretch, maybe yawn and move in ways that invite reawakening. This yawning and stretching practice, feeling and moving, releases tons and tons of dopamine. When you're ready, bend those knees, roll over onto your side body. And then when you feel right, you might lift up or press up into a gentle seated posture, maybe Sukhasana, maybe legs extended, however you want to be there. When you find yourself there, an option to take the palms at the heart center in Anjali Mudra. And you might even take a gentle bow in the head. However you've chosen to end your practice, we take a moment to acknowledge the power that we hold when we release expectations over ourselves. When we show up to do hard things and we let go of the outcome, knowing that there is value in whether we fall on our face and mess up again and again, or whether we find it exactly as we would like the first time. That any experience in between those extremes, even in those extremes, is valuable. And so we show up with passion to explore the body, to sense the sensation, to learn ourselves. And we release ourselves from the expectation of how we're going to perform, what it's going to feel like, so that we can hold space for the value in our practice exactly as it is. And know that you can take this mindset of showing up and letting go into every portion of your life and watch it transform even the most miserable moments into things that hold value. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light and the dark in me see the light and the dark in you. And we are messy and magical, and we're the same.